When our daughter was first diagnosed, there was nothing. We were told, well, you can try steroids, but really there's nothing more we can do.
She did not want to turn 10. She said, I don't want to have a birthday. I just want to stay little. And I kept saying, why? You love your birthday. It lasts for 2 months all the time. We hear about your birthday months in advance. But she was terrified that she wouldn't be able to walk anymore when she was 10.
I don't know, I'll look back and I can see my eyes and it's different. I look different before knowing and then after knowing. And so I used to kind of feel like, oh, I wish I'd known not sooner. There's nothing I can do about it. And then the other part of me was like, I'm so grateful for that time where I didn't know and I didn't have to worry about it.
It's pretty heartbreaking and scary and all those things, but yet you can't keep them in the dark because obviously they're really bright girls and they're smart and they're aware. So you have to sort of, give them the information that they need to understand, but also try to protect them from how emotionally impacting it is to their lives. After she got diagnosed, it was a long process. It took us many, many different doctor's appointments and specialists. In fact, the first time we went to an orthopedic surgeon, he looked at her and he said, well, if she were a boy, I'd swear it was Duchenne muscular dystrophy. So we thought we had fully ruled out muscular dystrophy. We didn't realize that there were any other types at the time. We were very naive, but after many more doctor's appointments, we did find out that it was limb-girdle type 2I. And the first thing I said is, okay, well, what can we do? What can I do to make her better? And it was just keep her active, keep her healthy, and at some point you can try steroids. And that just was unacceptable. At the time it was, we're in the 2000s. We have to be able to do better than that with all the science and, developments that are out there.
At home, sometimes I struggle with bouncing around doing different things because it's always in your face, it's what she has, and I would do anything to help her, but it's just can be emotionally draining in it. So I kind of quickly learned I wasn't dealing very well in dealing with the diagnosis. So I went to some therapy, started taking some anti-anxiety medication, and they were like, this doesn't have to be forever, it can be, but it doesn't have to be, and it turned out to be something I needed to stay on, and it was more future thoughts. The anxiety was just thinking about her future, and one thing I had learned is it's okay to mourn the future I thought she was going to have. It's not a bad thing. It doesn't mean she's having a bad future. It doesn't mean her life's going to be bad, but it's okay to mourn what I thought her life was going to be like, because it's very different than what I thought and hoped for her.
Talking about Sophie's future comes up a lot. It's always the first question on the first day of school. What do you want to be when you grow up? Sophie has pretty big ideas that she sticks to. She tells me she's not getting married and she's not having kids. And I said, you might change your mind about all that stuff. And she's going to have an apartment, but she might be a psychologist. She'll have ideas, but also it goes back to I don't want to get any older. I don't want to have a birthday. What's going to happen to me? I think she wants to do things like all her friends are doing. And to me, thinking about the future, I always think if her friends are all going to the beach, we live near a beach, how is she going to get out of the car, walk down the beach? Is she going to be excluded and left behind all the time? And I feel like these teenage years are going to be the toughest, because when she's through puberty and her teens, we'll kind of know where she's at for a while. We've had a lot of progression the last couple of years. So for her, I think she's very cautiously thinks about the future. She has things she wants to do. But then when she reflects on will she be able to do them, that's when she doesn't want to talk about it or think about it.
I see my daughter, this constant navigation, and she actually explained everything I do in life takes planning. I have to worry about, well, how am I going to get there? If my friend picks me up, am I going to be able to get out of her car? when I get in there, is there going to be a chair that I can get out of? And if I can't get out of it, who's going to be there to help me? If I go to her house, am I going to be able to get in the front door? Maybe they don't have steps on the side door, so I'll use that door. If I get in there, what if I have to go to the bathroom? Am I going to be able to use that bathroom? It's just this constant puzzle of how to navigate through life. And it creates, beyond the physical disability, creates an emotional and like constant mental anguish of, I'm going to have to miss out on that because I'm not going to be able to get to the top of the bleachers, and I don't want to sit at the bottom bleacher all by myself while all my friends are at the top. I mean, the list can go on and on all day. And just knowing that if she could just get that independence back and not have to worry about those things, and even now you'll say, well, what are you going to do for a living when you get older? I don't know. I don't even know if I'll be able to go to college because can I be independent in the dorm room by myself and get to class by myself? So it's a lot, and I try not to think that forward. We just try to, every day is a new day, and we tackle what's in front of us, and we just try to embrace the moment. And I always say, save your energy for the fun stuff, and just take one day at a time, because none of us can predict the future.
The first few years, I tried to pinpoint why Septembers were just so hard for me personally. It's my birthday month, it should be fun, just a rough month. And that's the month is Limb-Girdle Awareness. That's the month I do the fundraiser. But really the main point that I wasn't realizing was she goes back to school in August. And even when most people are nice, most teachers are kind and stuff, you're still retelling a whole new set of people. And it's kind of like a broken record. It gets easier. The more you tell it, the easier it gets to tell the story. But it was really taxing on me to set it all up again for another year with new people. And that season of the year, I need to be extra careful with myself because I can get down about it easily.
Coming to patient conferences like this are the most empowering thing that patients and their families can do. And you hear so many phrases like, we found our tribe, we found our people. Being a parent is hard, right? Anyone who's a parent will tell you it's probably the greatest challenge you'll have. But when you raise a child with some sort of special need, whatever the type it may be, in some sense it's heartbreaking. It's not what you envisioned that would be something your child would have to go through. But when you meet other caregivers that are going through the same thing and you can find that connection, it's just a little less lonely, it's a little less overwhelming. And you find people that you can talk to about things that your friends, wonderful friends that you have at home, they just don't actually get it. They don't understand, So I think it's so empowering.
Feeling a sense of gratitude that Sophie had a platform to speak on. Hearing her thoughts and what's really going on in her mind and the other girls was very eye-opening, even as a parent. And that so many people are interested in limb-girdle and learning about it. It's just really touching, and we appreciate it. And it really gives us a sense of hope that things are being done. Because their girls are older, they're just a wealth of advice, and they're kind of paving the way with their girls for what's coming ahead for us. So I feel very, very honored and lucky that I get to meet them and have them in my life. But to be completely honest, it's also a little bit heartbreaking because it's almost a fast forward of where Sophie may be in a few years. And Sophie asked me too, Mommy, they're older than me. Is that how I'm going to be? And I remember her meeting someone when she was younger, and the girl said to her, well, just wait till you turn 10, Sophie. It's all over from there. And at 10, she's 11 now, Sophie had to stop gymnastics, and she didn't want to have a birthday. But I asked her, I said, so she asked about that, and I said, nobody knows how anybody progresses. We're all different. We all have different bodies. So Mommy doesn't have that answer. And they are working on a treatment. So we try to live very presently because we don't know. There may be a treatment. On the same note, she found it very comforting to have met Sammy and Brooklyn and have two people that really get it and understand what she's going through. And she said, well, if that's, how I am at their age, that's okay. I'm okay with that. And I think she really is. And I mean, they're doing beautifully, but it's just the nature of this disease. It's progressive and you do lose your mobility. And we're all very aware of it, but actually seeing someone a few years older, it's, in a way, it's comforting because I see they're happy and they're great girls. And then it's also a little bit like, oh boy, it's always shocking, even though you know that this is where you're headed and what's happening. It's always a little bit unnerving to be there and witness it. We just hope science can outrun her disease, and we want to continue to spread awareness about it and hope the medical community really gets on board. They deserve it. They need it. And I think with the brilliant minds we have today and all this technology in their lifetime, they should see a treatment or a cure. And that's our wish, so our girls don't have to have all these worries all the time. They could be kids.